Hey guys, it's Natasha again. Okay, this is a great PDF to start brainstorming prior to the class. Okay, we're gonna walk through how to create a perfect sleuth, and that's clickbaity. I'm not gonna lie, your sleuth doesn't have to be perfect, and actually, the less perfect they are, the better. You really want a character. So let's walk through everything. I'll scroll through the pages here. Okay, I'm just going to read this first section. Who is our sleuth? She will be a woman. We're writing this to market. So I'm going to always, let me just phrase it this way. I'm always going to tell you to do the easiest thing. So when you're writing your novels, you want to establish yourself first, then you can, yeah, you can argue with me. I'm looking for the easy button. So the easy button is writing to market, and that would be writing a woman as the main character. You don't have to. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying I'm pushing the easy button on this one. So, okay. A woman with a special skill who works in a position where she has access to the community in which she lives. She has a sidekick with whom she shares her adventures, and she has a tumultuous relationship with an authority figure in or related to law enforcement. I don't think I could make that any more of a run-on sentence if I tried, but that's who we're looking for. She may have personal issues that cause her to make unwise decisions. I personally think that that's awesome, because that's going to make things very easy for you when it comes to writing. She is working on fixing or healing that about herself, although she's not entirely successful. So you want to as you create your character, you want to put these things in to make it easier for you to just play, right? Make your sandbox full of extra toys, right? So that's what we're going to try to do today. All right. So what we'll do in this PDF is you want to just, when it comes to brainstorming, keep coming up with another idea, because I think I mentioned this in another one. Really, when you get down to like 20 and 30 ideas, you start hitting like gold, right? And maybe not gold, but you can still come up with some really good stuff the more you push yourself to come up with things, right? So don't just take your first five ideas and write them down and be done. Really push yourself to come up with stuff. Just take time with this PDF. You want to create a good sleuth for yourself, somebody that's not going to be I'm talking about you as a writer. You want a sleuth that you can continue to write without getting bored. So find things that are going to excite you and make you want to explore different ways you can create the character over time in your series. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next page. So right here, we're going to brainstorm the sleuth, and we're just going to do the person aspects of the sleuth in this on this page. We have additional pages for internal conflict and special skill. So this page, we want to build out who she is. Quirks. She should be friendly. I'm not gonna lie. For cozy readers, they're looking for somebody they want to hang out with, that they want to go have a beer with, that they want to bake cakes with, right? So make her friendly, but you can make her quirky too. So go ahead and brainstorm here. Give her a reason to solve mysteries. Like, give her a reason. It doesn't have to be, and I want to underscore this, don't go dark with any of your reasons behind internal conflict or anything like that. Cozy readers aren't looking for, again, cozy readers aren't looking for that for the most part. It's not, across the board. Again, pushing the easy button, keep it light. That will keep you to market. Let's see. Okay, so this next page is her internal issue to resolve. This can play a role in your subplots as you go through your series. My character in my first series has issues with her older sister and living in her shadow. And so that's her internal issue, that she never feels good enough. So she's always kind of trying to prove herself. So that really helps me when I'm doing my stories because she always has to prove that she's right, that she found the answer. And so she keeps doing that again and again in every mystery. She keeps trying to do this. And so another example, I'm going to always bring up Psych because I think that's a quick, easy way to bring up an example that I can send you guys all out to video and watch quickly. Psych is really good. It's Sean, and his internal issue is that he doesn't want to grow up, and he's an adult, but he acts like a teenage boy 90% of the time. And that's his internal issue that he has to resolve with himself is growing up. And you can see that subplot arc through the whole story. And it keeps you watching because you want to know, is he gonna grow up? So anyway, and because of that, it gives you options to play on that issue of his for comedy, for depth, for character relationships. So think about your internal issue that you want for your sleuth, come up with a bunch of ideas, and then choose that one that you feel can take you in different avenues, and make your stories interesting that way, or that you have a really good idea for a subplot that can carry through your entire series, right? Again, don't go too dark. You're going to slowly build the tiny resolutions for this character throughout books, like one resolution per book kind of thing, or just very gradually across the series. So think of it that way as well. One thing that's really good that I've always played with is her want is in conflict with what she needs. So that's good for any story, any book. Your main character wants something and it's in direct conflict with what they actually need. So that's always a good thing to play with to come up with ideas. For mine, her growth will come from within her relationships. So a lot of cozy mysteries, the relationships that your characters have are where you see the growth, right, across the series. Another example is Only Murders in the Building. You see the relationship that builds between the three characters and how they come to care for each other, and they kind of grow as instead of these flat characters, they grow into these really wonderful people. So, okay, so that's the internal issue. So have fun with that one. But you're going to have more fun with this page. This is my favorite. So the special skill. So every cozy sleuth needs to be kind of slightly out of the ordinary. There has to be some specialness about them that helps them solve these crimes. And if you look at other examples like Monk with his OCD, you look at Psych with Sean's hyperperceptiveness, Poirot, same thing, hyperperceptiveness and also a little bit of OCD. Olivia Moore in iZombie, she eats brains and gets the flashes of what happened to the victim. I couldn't watch it after a while, but same thing. Miss Marple, etc. So they all have a special skill that they're actually using to solve the crime. And so I put Olivia Moore in there, even though I just couldn't stomach the iZombie. The gamut of what this special skill can be is whatever your brain can come up with. I mean, make as many options on this page, come up with as many ideas as you can, and find something unique that you really, really like, that really, not what you think your readers would like, what you really enjoy. Because I think as you write, you're going to have a fun time showcasing that special skill that you created. So have a ball with this one. Again, come up with as many ideas as you can. Okay, let's see. The next one is your community, or the community-centered job, rather. So your sleuth has to have a community-centered job. This is going to help you with your writing. A community-centered job where she has interactions regularly with the community. And you want to set yourself up for success with this. Of course, you can give your character any job you want, but I want you to really make this easy for yourself. Find a community-centered job where she is constantly meeting people in the community so she can get information from them regarding the mysteries and the murders, right? So the that is just going to make it easier for you. Another aspect of this community-centered job is that if for cozy readers, they're coming to your books for a sensory experience as well. So besides the cozy factor, the comfort level that you're giving your reader, they also are looking for some sensory feedback. Like that's why the culinary and the craft and the cats are so popular, is that those readers are looking for the ooey gooey chocolate cake, the smell of the cookies baking. These are things that bring comfort to people. And so you putting them in your stories that's what brings your readers back. So quilting and knitting and those, I can't forget if it's alpha waves or beta waves in your brain when you're crafting like that. That's a calming sense that comes over you when you're crafting. So these are things that we are giving our readers that they enjoy and that they will come back and keep reading. So if you can give your sleuth this job where now you get to describe the cake baking and the smell and the taste and what it looks like, and the tea house that, the tea shop with all the scents of the teas, but then, it has a pink awning or, blue on whatever, but highly decorated, highly descriptive of the surroundings so that it's cozy and warm and inviting. Those are the things you want to give your reader. So make it easy on yourself. Pick something that's really going to wow your readers, that they're really going to enjoy coming to again and again. And trust me, they'll keep coming back again and again because they want to spend time in that coffee shop or the bakery or with your sleuth in this job that's so tactile and comforting to them. Okay, so that's this page. Go ahead, come up with a bunch of ideas. Stretch the ideas of comfort and where. So let me see how to make that sound right. You can also always go for the tried and true, right? The coffee shop, the bakery, but you can push outside of that and try to find what else would eating or crafting kind of come into play, or something else that's comforting, and look for it in yourself. What is comforting to you? What are things that bring you joy and comfort and calmness, and put that in put that in your list, right? And see what comes up and experiment with it and see what you do. So you got your place for your list here. Let's go to the next page. Okay. Your sidekick. So your sidekick for your sleuth has a really important role. And I think you can play this. It's very flexible as well. The important aspects of a sidekick are that they're really a sounding board for your sleuth. So they should be around very often. And somebody that the sleuth trusts, because they're going to share that information with them, right? So you want to make it easy by having the sidekick nearby. So a coworker or a BFF or a cousin or family member, something along those lines, so that they're trustworthy and nearby and available, right? So you want them to be the sounding board so that as you walk through the mystery, your sleuth can be like, well, here's the information we know about, or I'm thinking it's this guy. And then the sidekick can say, well, maybe not, maybe it's this. And then the sleuth will go, well, no, because blah, 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 blah. So then you get this back and forth going on, and having that sidekick there is really important for that. So I have a list of the requirements. You want them to be helpful and listen well, and they should represent the everybody. So they should represent something like your audience, your readers, so that they can foil the sleuth. Your sleuth is going to be a little bit special because they have this special skill and they're solving the crimes. And your sidekick is going to be more like everybody. You can put your sidekick in the place of the reader who would ask the questions, right? Like, well, why did that happen? Or did you see that this happened at the same time, sleuth? And the sleuth would be like, oh, sidekick, you're right. So your sidekick can be used for a lot of things inside the story. So go ahead and describe your sidekick, list out the attributes that you want for your sidekick and special skills that they have, right? Because that can also work with the sleuth when needed, right? You also want them to, I have here, be a foil to the sleuth. So if you're sleuth, you can make your sleuth extra crazy if you have a sidekick that's very grounded, right? So you can do that too. So options. Okay. Next page is, okay, so the authority figure in law enforcement. So I would argue that you need an authority figure. And that's because the authority figure is going to be the foil to the sleuth who is an amateur, who is not familiar with everything and doing things they shouldn't be doing, right? So this gives your sleuth the ability to be a little out there, doing things that they shouldn't be doing like the average person, right? So they can do that because you have the opposite, this grounded authority figure who follows all the rules, who wants to make sure that, that the criminals pay for their crimes, etc. You want that authority figure available in the storyline. It just balances the story. So there are a lot of fun things you can do with that. The authority figure can inadvertently help your sleuth, positively help your sleuth, hinder your sleuth, cause more problems for your sleuth, tell the sleuth they're going to arrest them. Like you can have fun with this. So the authority figure is important. It does not have to be the detective. It can be some other authority figure in law enforcement. It needs to be a way for your sleuth to get additional information about the mystery, the crime itself. This can, a lot of times to market things, this detective is usually the detective. They usually have a romantic relationship with the sleuth. And that allows you to have that subplot carry through the series. You don't have to do this. It can be a friend, but it can be a friend that's like, you shouldn't be doing this, right? And you can create tension and friction that way. And I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is that having an authority figure in law enforcement already generates that tension and friction that you want to have between law enforcement and your sleuth, right? So by creating this character that is a straight arrow kind of follows the rules kind of character, that's a good balance for your story. And you can do that here with your authority figure in law enforcement. So go ahead, fill out your list here about developing this authority figure and like different aspects of like, could they be the detective? Maybe they're the coroner. Maybe they're the, a beat cop. You can play with this. So make your list and come up with the one that again excites you the most. All right. Go down to world building. So here's your community. And so this is the closed community that cozy readers just adore, to the point where they don't want you to ever leave it, right? So for me, I can see that in Only Murders in the Building. If you look at the Arconia and how beautiful that, they really gave us all of the universal fantasies for cozy in the Arconia. The way everything is decorated, the grandeur of it all. It's like, well, I don't want them to go have a mystery, on Long Island. I don't. I want them to stay in the Arconia so I can see all of the beautiful decorations and how the rooms are laid out and all of the people that are in there and the secret passageways. Like, come on, like how much more universal fantasy can you put in there? It's just brilliant. So your community needs to be like that. It needs to be a place where your readers are going to keep coming and coming again and again to just explore it and learn about it and enjoy it. So you can go with the tried and true, New England mysterious coastal community. You can always do that and build from there. You can come up with something unique like the Arconia. I think what you can do is you can go into your own experiences and find that cozy place for you and build from there. Create that unique, interesting, you can bring in your personal interests and really have fun with this. you creating the people that are there, interesting and quirky individuals that are going to help you build out your stories as you walk through your series. So this is a really fun one. Have fun with this list. Yeah, this is just one of my, I'm thinking of the Arconia and how brilliant it is. But yeah, come up with your community here, have a good time with it. And remember, make it interesting again for you so that you don't mind exploring it yourself over and over again in each book, because your readers are going to want to stay there. Okay. All right, so the last page is just you list all of your final choices, and now you can take that list and you can sit down with your outline and you can start brainstorming individual characters for your community, and then how you're going to lay out your first act in your novel. So I hope this helped. Have a good time filling this out. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.